to the tracking and analyzing your biohacking performance video. If you're getting into biohacking, most people at the very beginning, they want to know that they're getting better. And so they want to track and analyze some of the stuff to know, like, is this stuff that I'm doing working? So there's a number of things that people track. The most popular things that people track and analyze are sleep, weight, fat or fat loss, hormones like estrogen and testosterone, blood markers, so taking blood and looking at things like vitamin D, C-reactive protein, homocysteine, micronutrients, magnesium and things like that. People also track macros. That'd be like, how much fat, protein, and carbs am I eating in a day? Because they might want to be ketogenic. And to be ketogenic, you want, like, let's say less than 30 grams of carbs in a day. So you track what you're eating. Movement, things like, how many steps? Am I getting 10,000 steps a day? And heart rate variability, HRV. These are kind of the main things that people track and analyze, other than genetics, like 23andMe type DNA tests. I have my doubts that those DNA tests are real. And I think the more we find out, the more a lot of it's like a bunch of BS. So go ahead and do your DNA test if you're interested. Mine honestly showed that I am supposed to be obese and diabetic. And I am none of those things. And I guarantee you, if I ate McDonald's every single day, I would not be those things. And so I don't believe the genetic report that was run for me. I honestly think it did not tell me anything, and it was totally wrong. So I don't believe they have that genetic testing done appropriately. Some people also test their microbiome. There's like a biome test or whatever, and you can like test your gut bacteria by doing some sort of swab. I don't know if it's in your mouth or your poop or whatever it is. I haven't taken it. I don't care to take it. Some people really want to do that. And part of their program, at least it used to be, I haven't looked into this in a long time, but you would test your microbiome and they would recommend a diet based on your microbiome. And then you could buy that diet from them. And a lot of people did that. And honestly, the people that I interviewed didn't have much success from following that. I think the science isn't really there to tell us that we know enough about the microbiome to start telling us what to do based on what the microbiome is in our body. So I'm not going to mention those things on like my recommendations for you, but they are things that biohackers track and utilize. I just don't put a lot of stock into the DNA testing, the genetics testing, or the microbiome testing. I think it's too early for us to utilize those appropriately and get any benefit. And in fact, it might lead you down a road that has negative consequences, honestly, from what I've seen. So those are the most popular things people track and analyze. So how do you do that? Well, let's start from the very easiest, which is get yourself a scale like that you can weigh yourself on whenever you want, once a week, once a day, whatever it is. Do it at the same time, be hydrated, because like my body weight can fluctuate like 5 pounds within the same day based on water weight, based on whether I went to the bathroom or not. Lots of reasons. So can yours. So if you're like, man, I gained 5 pounds yesterday. Well, maybe you didn't, but your weight has just fluctuated within the day. So get a scale and track your weight, but do it at the same time every day. If you want an upgrade, you can get like an OMROM scale. It's like OMROM. An OMROM test your body fat. It's not super accurate, but you're not worried necessarily about how accurate the body fat measurement is. You're worried about direction. Did I increase my body fat? That's what I'm trying to do. Like, did it go from 7% to 13%? That's what I want. Or did I decrease my body fat? Did it go from 20% to 15%? So the direction of like, am I improving my body fat composition for my goal? Yes or no? It's accurate for that. It's not going to, if it tells you your body fat is 15%, it could be 10% and it could be 20. So it's not like going to tell you the exact body fat you have. It's going to tell you if you've lost body fat or gained body fat if you're using it weekly. So get yourself a scale. If you want like an upgraded scale, it's less than $100 to get one that reads body fat. So, I mean, you might as well get one of those because it helps just do some additional tracking that can be really helpful. If you just want to track body fat and you already have a scale and you don't want to buy another scale, again, Omron has like this little handle. It's like a device. It's about this big. You hold onto the handles. It runs a current through your body to test your body fat, and it gives you a body fat reading. So you can get one of those. I think the last time I looked, they're like $300 for the handheld device. Probably it's more accurate than the one you stand on that's also a scale, because that one's less than $100. But again, it's still directional. None of these things are accurate, but they're directional. So if you want an Omron or you have access to it, like my gym used to have one, you could use it for free. Every day you walked into the gym, you could just grab it and get a reading. It was great. Like you can track your body fat, and over time you can see if you're moving in the direction that you want based on your biohacks. You could also use, again, we're still on body fat, a DEXA scan. DEXA scan is like the most technical, it's the most expensive. Supposedly it's the most accurate. It will tell you where your body fat is stored. So visceral body fat are stored around the organs versus like around your trunk versus in your legs. It'll give you those readings, and it'll tell you how much lean muscle is in each body part, your arms, your trunk, your legs. All of that gets read through a DEXA scan. And I think they were like $60 to $100 every time you have one. So people would have one like once a month or twice a year, whatever it is. Gives you a pretty accurate indication, and there's lots of data there. So I have used that in certain experiments where I was trying to gain muscle but not fat. I used a DEXA scan, and I would do a scan at the beginning and the end of my experiment, which was a 6-week long experiment. And it told me that I gained 16 pounds of muscle and like half a pound of fat. It's pretty good in 6 weeks. The next is another device you're probably not going to have at home, but you can pay for, and it's Fit3D. Fit3D is you hold on to some handles, you're in your underwear or naked, and it spins you around in a circle, and there's cameras all over the room, and they take photos of every angle, and they get a 3D model of you that they put into a computer model, and you can view it, and you can see before and after photos in the 3D model. It's actually kind of neat. It also like can size a suit for you, whether you're a man or a woman. If you want clothes tailored specifically for you, it'll give every dimension of every part of your body, and you can get suits then tailored really specifically based on that Fit3D. I was just using it to look at different muscle when I gained muscle, to see where it was being put on and what the difference was, because I wanted to show people before and afters. So it's probably not a device that everyone's going to use, but it's neat. I had access to it for free, so that's how I used it. Next, you're probably going to, after you're measuring your weight and your body fat percentage, and you're tracking whether your weight's going up or down and your body fat's going up or down, you might want to start tracking things by using a wearable. So a wearable like an Oura ring right here is going to track things like your steps and your sleep and your deep sleep and your REM sleep, your dream state sleep, and the length of sleep. Did I sleep for 7 hours or 8 hours? Did I sleep for 9 hours or 10 hours? It'll track things like heart rate variability. One of those things that we talked about earlier, people like to track is their heart rate variability. It's an indication of your overall level of health. Higher the heart rate variability, the better. And something like a wearable can track that for you. Am I getting 10,000 steps, or did I only get 4,000 today? Wow, if I only got 4,000, how do I get more steps during the day? I could sit here like Ben Greenfield and walk on a treadmill while I'm talking to all of you and multitask 1,000 ways, and I'll probably get like 100,000 steps or whatever it is, right? So definitely possible to do that. And this could be something that you're doing at work while you're in a meeting or while you're typing. I mean, this is pretty simple, right? But if you're not getting even 5,000 steps in a day, you probably need more movement. This could be a great way to do it. And your little tracking device is going to tell you how well you're doing. Great. So there's lots of other types of wearables besides the Oura. It's just the one that I use, and it's pretty powerful, and it's pretty convenient to wear. It's like not super bulky. I don't like wearing things on my wrists. I have no other jewelry anywhere. And to me, this is like easiest way to do it. So find a wearable that works for you if you want to track things like your heart rate variability, your body temperature, your sleep, all those things in one device. Pretty neat. Next, and the last one, which is the most advanced, and that would be your blood work. So that's also called doing labs. So we're going to take blood and look at different markers within the blood to track and analyze our biohacking and our state of health compared to other people and researched papers that say these are the markers that show that you're healthy if they're within this range, and that you need to improve things if they're not within this range, right? So those are your labs. And the easiest way to get them done is to find a good practitioner. So locally here in Wisconsin and Minnesota, we'd find like Dr. Ed Hagen, who is at Vivify Health. He helps people run labs. He does all sorts of other things. He's a medical doctor, and he can do blood work. He can order the blood work for you and help you analyze it so that you are optimally healthy, and he'll help you dial in how to be healthier based on what your blood work looks like. There's another doctor in Minnesota, Dr. Tim Noonan. He's in I think it's the TRIA system in Minnesota. So again, a medical doctor, but he's really good about helping you run labs and helping you analyze them. I ran into 3 other doctors that I had to fire in Minnesota that refused to run blood work. I was like, hey, I want some blood drawn and I want to look at these things. And they said, no, if you're worried about some of these blood markers, take a baby aspirin and some B vitamins and you'll be fine. That's not helpful. So I fired those doctors and I found a couple that would do the things that I wanted to do. So you may have to shop around and find a doctor in your area that'll work with you. There are doctors online that will also work with you and are able to work with you over Zoom, and they can order blood work in your own local area. Those would be people like Dr. Leland Stillman. You can find him on YouTube or anywhere online, and you can become a client of his or a patient, and he can order that blood work and work with you to be optimal by tracking and looking at those results. Dr. Jack Cruz, he also does that. He has a club called the Optimal Club, and he spells club with a K. You can find the Optimal Club online, and I used to be a member of that. He'll help you with labs. He'll help you analyze the labs and tell you where to go and what the numbers should be. And all the members in the club, a lot of them are medical doctors. They can also help. So those are really ways to check whether you're average or optimal. So we don't want to be average as biohackers. We want to optimize. We want to be as healthy as possible, not just average. Because if everyone's super sick, then average means you're sick. And I don't want to be like sick. So I want to be optimal. I want my biology to run at its best. And that's what these labs can help with. They can check things like testosterone, different hormones, estrogen, C-reactive protein, homocysteine, vitamin D levels in the blood. And so all these things that can tell you, based on if those numbers are out of the optimal range, what you could do to be healthier. And so that is a really good way that some people use to track and analyze their biohacking progress. Those are the 4 ways that I like to use: scale, body fat, using a wearable, and then getting labs done as needed. Again, like, you don't have to do labs every month like some people choose to do. You could do it once every couple years. So don't let it be intimidating, like, oh my God, I've got to get blood drawn all the time. You could do it once every 5 years. It's up to you. This is your journey, and it's your system of how you're building health for yourself. So those are things people like to track. If you want to find out more about those things, you can look up those terms online. But super simple, those 4 ways, really great way to track and analyze your biohacking performance.